Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And so for today's video I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look that I'm wearing right here, and I really like the way that it turned out because, as you guys know, I kind of stick to really just like pink eyeshadow looks or just like bronzy and golds, and so I'm really trying to break out of that. And so this is kind of like my first conscious effort to do more colorful looks on my channel, and so I decided to do like a little purple look, and I really like the way that it ended up turning out. And then I also did go ahead and use some makeup products that I don't always use that often, so like my primer and my foundation and stuff like that were some products that I don't use like on a daily basis because, again, I am trying to kind of be more focused on using products that are in my collection and not just sticking to like my Makeup Revolution foundation and like my Becca primer. So I really want to branch out and use the products that are actually in my collection. So if you guys want to see how I achieved this makeup look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. So I already went ahead and primed my eyelids and set them and everything like that. So now we are going to just hop right into the eyeshadow. And so for eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using my Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. And then kind of like the star of the show is I'm going to be going in with these loose pigments. So I'm going to start off by using this light brown matte shade, and I'm just going to run this through my crease. Now that we have the matte brown shade laid down, we are going to start diving into some of these purple shades, since the loose pigment that I will be using is purple, so I just kind of want a little bit of like cohesiveness in the makeup look. So I think I'm honestly just going to take a combination of both of these like plum shades, and I'm just going to focus those on my outer corner and then just kind of blend whatever I have left on my brush like in my crease. I'm not going to be too focused on the crease because I do kind of still want some of that brown to peek through. Also, don't worry if it starts to get a little bit messy because at the end I will go in and take a makeup wipe and just clean to kind of get that really sharp like cat eye effect look. So don't get too worried if it looks a little bit messy because you can always clean it up at the end. And I don't know, I just kind of want to play with makeup today. I'm not really doing anything today. So now that the kind of all the matte shades are laid down, we can now finally go in with the star of the show, which is the loose pigment. So this is the collab between Kathleen Lights and ColourPop, and they recently came out with like the whole Zodiac loose pigment collection, and I did purchase all 12, so I have so many colors to really create really beautiful looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cap, and then I'm just going to take some Mario Badescu Rose Water. You can use any like setting spray, facial spray. You can even use just like a little bit of water just to kind of get this a little bit wet inside the cap. And then I'm going to pick up a like flat shader brush. This is my ColourPop E3 brush, and here I have the loose pigment. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop up a little bit of this. So like that's kind of how much I have, if you can see. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dump that right into the cap and then just kind of mix it in together. And so then I have like this really, really gorgeous shade on my brush. Actually, I just realized I forgot to cut my crease. I'm going to do that real quick before I apply this, because I know if I don't cut my crease, then it's just like not gonna look good. This is the like Makeup Revolution concealer. I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to start cutting out my crease. The way that I cut my crease out on this eye is kind of messed up, but I feel like cutting your crease out is just kind of like a guideline, so you can always kind of like fix it and kind of make it look better later. So now I'm going to finally go in with that loose pigment and apply that. That is so pretty. So now I'm just going to go ahead and apply that on this eye. And I know this looks very harsh right now, but we will go back in with the matte shadows and just kind of blend everything together, so don't be alarmed. So what I'm going to actually do is, I feel like the Natasha Denona palette can work totally fine. But I'm going to actually pick up my James Charles palette right here, and I'm going to use some of the purples in this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this purple shade right here, which is called Escape, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my outer corners and just kind of blend in the like shadows to the loose pigment, just so it's not like really harsh. And ever so slightly, I'm using such a light hand with this, I'm ever so slightly kind of putting that into my crease to just kind of blend that crease out a little bit. So now to kind of blend out the crease a little bit, I'm going back in with that light brown matte shade, and I'm taking a little bit of a smaller brush and just kind of dabbing my brush in the crease, because I'm afraid if I like do like swirling motions that it's going to kind of take off that pigment, or it's going to make it a little bit messy. So I'm just kind of dabbing that shade kind of like right in my crease just to make sure everything is blended. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean up the fallout. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara. I feel like I should probably wear falsies because I just feel like every like dramatic eye makeup look just kind of calls for falsies, but I'm not really feeling those today. So I'm going to go in with my Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. Now that my mascara is on, the eyes are all done for now. I'm going to go ahead and start on my face before I finish off the eyes. So for primer today, I'm going to be picking up my No Problem primer from Touch in Sol. This is such a good primer that I feel like I don't use it enough because it is so good. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. And this primer is like a pore filling primer. It just really makes my foundation go on really smooth. And it's really good because if you do have dry skin, I feel like this primer is really good because normally pore filling primers just make my skin so dry, but this is a pore filling primer that actually works really good. Okay, so now for foundation, I'm going to pick up my Makeup Revolution. This is the Fast Base Stick Foundation, and I do not like stick foundations, but I purchased this because I wanted to try it out, and I think it's a good foundation, but I just hate stick foundations because I'm someone where I like to use like a sponge to blend out my foundation, and I feel like stick foundations and beauty sponges just don't go together. You really need a brush, but I cannot stand doing like my foundation with a brush. It is just not what I like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I do think the finish of this is so beautiful. I'm just going to put this on sections of my face and work because, like I said, it's a little bit harder to blend out with a sponge. So I just kind of want to blend it out in sections so it's not like really hard to blend out the entire face all at once. So now that my foundation is on, we're going to go ahead and move on to concealer. So I'm going to be picking up my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer, and I'm almost all out of this. And then for powder, it is no surprise. So we are going to be picking up the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish off the eyes before we finish off the face. So I'm going to pick up my Natasha Denona palette. I'm going to take a brush and just start by applying this light brown matte shade, and I'm just going to apply it on my lower lash line, and then I'm just making sure to kind of connect it to the eyeshadow that I placed on my lids. And then I'm just going to continue to use this palette. I could go back in with that purple shade from the James Charles palette, but I think I'm just going to use this since it's my lower lash line. It's not that big of a deal. So I think I'm just going to take this shade right here and I'm going to apply that to my lower lash line. I'm going to focus that shade more so on the outer corners of my eye, and then again just making sure to connect it to that top part of the eyeshadow. Okay, so my lower lash line is all done, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my inner corner highlight, which is, this combo is like my new obsession. So I'm going to pick up another loose pigment. This is the shade The Maiden, and this is honestly like the most like beautiful inner corner highlight to ever exist. Like, I feel like inner corners just kind of make the entire look like really come together. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my lower lash mascara. So I'm going to pick up my Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. So now to bronze up my skin, I'm going to be picking up my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and believe it or not, I have not been using this bronzer recently. I have been using either my Hoola or my Cali Contour from Smashbox. This has just been a product that I've kind of have just stopped using, which is crazy because this used to be my holy grail, so I definitely want to continue to use it. So I'm just going to go ahead and bronze up my skin. And then for blush, I'm going to pick up my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush, and this is in the shade Party. Alright, and then for highlights, I'm going to go in with another highlighting product that I have not used in so long, which is so crazy because this is literally like my holy grail highlight. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in the shade Sun Dipped. I feel like I've constantly have been putting this in like my yearly makeup favorites just because it is so good, and I just honestly have not used this in like months. I feel like I have just been getting a lot of new highlights and just kind of testing out new highlights that like this has just not crossed my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a combination of these two shades right here, which is Summer and Moonstone. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my makeup into place. I'm just going to quickly spray my Mara Badescu Rosewater Spray. So for the last step in this makeup tutorial is obviously the lips, and so I definitely want to go in with like a nude because the eyes are so like bold and purple. So I'm going to pick up this Maybelline lipstick, and this is in the shade Baddest Beige. I'm sure you guys have all heard Jaclyn Hill talk about this and rave about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and apply this. So that completes this makeup tutorial, and so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I do post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always new content on my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!